So right now I'm at this parking lot in Dodger Stadium, which is wild to me because I've never been to a Dodgers game before, and that was something that Pat and I were gonna rectify this summer. Here we are, but not to see a baseball game, to get tested. You may be wondering why I have you in my car. We in the car. We drive slow. We're doing things that the girls don't do. So today I'm going to go get tested for COVID-19. This is a serious subject. This is something that is on everyone's hearts and minds these days. And because of it, we're just gonna dive right in. Yesterday, I went to bed and I had a cough. I do not think it is coronavirus. For those of you who are from Los Angeles, you know that the wind tends to pick up in the late spring. The Santa Ana winds, they pick up and blow a lot of dust and dirt around, and it can really aggravate people's allergies. And so yesterday, I went to bed with this pretty gnarly cough, and I was just like, this came out of nowhere. This morning, I logged on to Instagram, and I saw my friend Sasha Alexander, who I used to teach at S Factor, who is now a coach for chronic health issues, post about getting tested herself. And I was like, that looks relatively simple. And I think there's a lot of misinformation about what it's like to be tested. So this is gonna be a little bit of a short video, and apologies, but it's gonna be a little bit of a messy video, but I'm doing this by myself. And I'm also doing this not really knowing what to expect. So first off, I went to this website that asked if I had any symptoms, which I actually answered no. Even though I have a cough, I didn't want to take the spot of someone who had some pretty severe symptoms. And then I was presented with a drop-down menu that showed me a lot of different locations around Los Angeles where I can get tested. I got an appointment literally the same day, like 3 hours later. I'm in this line marked off with 1.5 million orange cones. I have my appointment details right here on my phone, and it looks like there's a bunch of white tents set up all around. Right off the bat, I'm struck by the fact that I don't need my ID. This says I just have to have the last 5 numbers of my appointment number. It's probably just to expedite the process, which is awesome, but also like, wow. Right away, I was struck by how organized it was. This whole setup seemed to be run by like maybe 12 to 15 people in masks and visors and gloves. And they all had signs essentially made out of cardboard. There are 2 types of tests, which is something I did not know until literally last night. I thought the only way you can get tested for COVID is through the nasal swab. Turns out there's a second kind of test, which is a mouth swab, which requires you to cough heavily into your mask a couple times, and then you swab your mouth to get all of the cough juice on the petri dish. Oh, I have so much respect for these people. Now, the CDC actually prefers the nasal swab test because it's probably a little bit more accurate, and there's been more testing around the nasal swab test. But all of the testing feedback from the mouth swab test has been really promising, and a lot of experts swear by it. And in my mind, if it's a way to get folks to test themselves more often and more readily, then why not do it? So then you swab your mouth and then put it in a little plastic tube and turn it in. Did not hurt. It actually did not take a lot of time. Now, when I watched Sasha's Instagram last night, she was in line for about an hour.
Okay, I have now been here for about 40 minutes, although I think it's gonna happen momentarily.
I was in line for less than 10 minutes. In fact, y'all, I brought my makeup and my work laptop. I thought it was going to take a long time for me to vlog. And I was like, this is great, perfect time to make a video. To give you a point of reference, my appointment was at 1 o'clock. I showed up at 1:05 because, yeah, I was late. I was late, but on brand. And right now, the time is 1:27. Okay, I want to do some more myth busting about getting tested and stuff, but I'm hot, so let's go back to my house. Okay, let me whip out the fact machine. Just kidding, you should never refer to the internet as the fact machine. So one of the reasons why I decided to get tested today is because I've been really curious about this term of an asymptomatic carrier. And I think that is kind of one of the most frustrating parts about this disease, is because it spreads so rapidly, and half the time it can spread off of people who don't have any symptoms. And as much as I disagree with folks who don't want to wear masks, I do have compassion for what they're feeling right now. And I understand how this may be confusing because there is a part of this disease that's asymptomatic, where you don't have it, you feel fine, and you want to go about your merry day. I'm looking at this article from May 12th that says a lab study shows that as many as 50% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic. That means that this virus is hidden in plain sight, and that the only way we can combat it is through testing. We know so very little about this disease, and information around it is changing rapidly. Like 6 weeks ago, the CDC was recommending that folks don't wear masks. And now in the city of Los Angeles, it's illegal to leave your house if you're not wearing a mask. So if you're worried, if you're wondering, go get tested and you'll have some kind of finite information at the end of it. My test results will come in 3 to 5 days. I'll update everyone on my community tab. Until then, I hope that you all stay safe, stay sanitized, stay sane as much as you can. I love you, you beautiful nerds. Thank you so much for being here.